Hey, Ross boy.
I'm Anthony Carino. I've built and renovated hundreds of homes over the last decade. My next project, though, is something very personal. I'm taking an old firehouse in Jersey City, and I'm converting it into a home. My home. This is the Build TV, the Firehouse Project.
It's insane!
The core interior and the exterior facade is something that takes a lot of consideration. So during the design phase here, I am making sure I am paying attention to a lot of detail. And that detail is really focused on running my home in the most efficient manner possible so that I'm spending as little as possible on my utilities. Okay, so I want to go over all the products I selected for my core interior and exterior facade, including windows, exterior doors, sidewalks, interior insulation, the HVAC system, and the radiant floors. Starting with the exterior, we gotta talk about the number one place you lose energy, and that is through your windows. Now, my existing windows here in this firehouse are absolute crap. They're noisy, they don't slide up and down, they're just an absolute disaster. So for my windows, I've decided to go with Renewal by Andersen. They've got a low E glass that reflects a ton of heat. They're super insulated windows. Today's the day. New windows are going in. All the glass is here, getting them unboxed, starting up on the second floor. New glass starts right now. First things first, we gotta get rid of these old, inefficient windows. That is the largest window in the entire Firehouse project. Their FiberX frames are a wood composite that never need to be painted. They don't chip, they don't crack, they don't expand. Renewal by Andersen install is done. Absolutely thrilled. It is a super high quality product that is gonna keep me really, really efficient. And best of all, it's gonna be nice and quiet inside that home. Now, after windows, we're talking about, obviously, your exterior doors. Doors, you can go with a more solid core and less glass, and that's gonna give you a higher R value, which is a better insulating value. But we do also need to consider the aesthetics of our home, and if we do wanna integrate glass, we have to understand what that means for utility efficiency. Doors! For my main entry door and the side entry door into the garage, I am working with Andersen. Andersen doors are an absolute staple in the industry, and when you consider the historic nature of the Firehouse and the type of products Andersen is able to put out, this was a no-brainer for me. These doors are absolutely gorgeous. They fit with the historic nature of the facade. The hinges are fantastic. The R value is great. We were able to send them the rough dimensions of the masonry opening. They built the door to suit. Same thing with the main entry door. They're both from the same product line. On the garage door, we went with a quarter light because we wanted the privacy, and on the main entry door, we went with a half light that is non-obscured glass. It's just a regular glass panel, so you can, in fact, see through that. And when we're talking about doors, we have to remember, we're not just talking about the entry doors here. We've got a massive garage door on this Firehouse. For my garage door, I'm working with Clopay. This is a completely custom garage door. It's an absolutely massive opening. Clopay has the ability to customize absolutely any door to any size, and I really think we're gonna be able to create something super special for the facade of this Firehouse. The day has finally arrived. The garage door is getting installed today. We disassemble the existing garage door first. The old door is dead. We are fully installed. Clopay garage door is in, so here we go, inaugural open. Super quiet. This is a huge door. Everything. To round out the exterior, we're gonna do all new sidewalks because these things are cracking and crumbling. I get a ton of water penetrating into my basement from a lot of really big gaps in this sidewalk. Because there is so much sidewalk area, being that the Firehouse is a corner building, we have to do the pour in sections because we just cannot pour that much concrete in one day. We're finishing up the new sidewalks and then we're moving right back to the interior. So the interior, we want to start with insulation. We are trying to create a barrier that slows the transition of heat or cooling loss, depending on the season, to the exterior environment. So choosing that insulation is super, super key. Sexy? No. Money saver? Big time. Some insulation arrived. I guess we have a 53-foot truck full of rock wool. So we're gonna figure out where to put it. Oh my God. My heart rate is 158. It's done. We did it. So now we'll start installing the rock wool insulation. Guys are up on stilts. They're doing R30 in the ceilings. Then we got Comfort Bat R15 in the exterior walls. And then on the interior walls, we've got the Safe and Sound. All this stuff is by Rockwool. Absolutely fireproof material. This is all made out of crushed up rocks. So it's a very green product, a lot of recycling going on here, and absolutely incredible when it comes to sound deadening.
No more yelling on the job site. Nobody can hear you.
Rockwool, doing what you're supposed to do. This stuff is absolutely incredible. Moving in from insulation and talking about limiting heating and cooling loss, we then need to talk about the efficiency of our heating and cooling systems. So for me, my air conditioning, no brainer, I am going with Trane. Trane is absolutely at the top of the industry. They make super high quality products and they run really efficiently. It's done, it's installed. The Trane unit is up in the garage. This is the third of these units that are in this project. I've got one zone upstairs for the residents, and then I did another one of these in the rental unit, which is in the back of the building. So what we're looking at up here is the Trane Hyperion air handler, and then over here on the end is Trane CleanEffects air cleaner. The nice thing about this is the air handler itself is a communicating device, so it speaks to all the other components within the system and everything adjusts together. Also, the CleanEffects is a washable filter. Something else to note, these units run super quiet. I mean, you really can't even tell when they're on. So with the HVAC system all set, we can finally move on to the last core interior item on my list, the heating system. And it has always been a dream of mine to have radiant heat floors, so we're gonna go with that. But to take that efficiency to the next level, I'm going with EcoWarm. All right, EcoWarm panels are going in. We're doing the layout right now. These are the panels that have grooves cut into them that allow the radiant pipe to go in there. And grooves already pre-routed in here that allow tubes, the PEX, to sit inside these grooves. The aluminum really helps to disperse the heat across the entire floor evenly. Want to take you through where we are so far with the EcoWarm panel install. All in all, very impressed with the product and how easy it was to install. The aluminum is thin, so you're able to cut it with a regular table saw. You are able to screw through it without having to pre-drill anything. You will notice a few open spots. For example, here where I'm standing now, this is the kitchen island. This is the kitchen galley. There's no need to have these panels there. These panels cost more than typical plywood. So when the EcoWarm guys do the shop drawings for you and do the layout, they smartly do not include panels for those areas. You fill that in with a standard 3/4 plywood. So now that the EcoWarm layout is done and all the panels are fixed to the floor, tomorrow we start to install the PEX tubing. Before we start installing the PEX tubing, it's imperative that you vacuum out all the grooves in the EcoWarm panels so there's nothing to puncture the tubes. Basically what we're doing here is cutting in the grooves that the tube is gonna lay. Next, we place the tubes into the grooves.
That's it, that's the end of the run.
Jesus, that's fast, man.
Was that like 10 minutes, 11 minutes?
That's awesome. All right, so with the EcoWarm panels down and the PEX tubing installed, now we can install the wood floors. The EcoWarm panels were super easy to install, and the heat from the radiant is just so comfortable. And nobody loves that more than Rossi. Hey, Ross boy. Hey, Ross boy. Hi. So your core interior and your exterior facade aren't always in the forefront of your mind when you're designing your home, but they're super important when you consider the amount of efficiencies, utility savings, and the overall look of your building. And I'm really happy with how everything operates, the efficiencies I'm starting to see, and how the exterior facade looks now that all these new products have been installed. Coming up this season on the Build TV, we go room by room to show you what it takes to convert this old firehouse into a home.
Wow.
Subscribe or follow at thebuild.tv to make sure you don't miss any episodes.